Released by NetherRealm Studios in 2011 on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and later PlayStation Vita, Mortal Kombat would be the 9th mainline game in the franchise. Directed by Ed Boon and written by John Vogel, two of the original creators of the franchise, the game would take place directly after the events of Mortal Kombat Armageddon and reboot the entire franchise. For story, the game is divided into chapters where a different character is the central focus for a few fights that continue the story and develop that character. There are 32 playable characters, both new and old, though some characters depend on the platform played on, and there are additional playable characters in the challenge mode. For gameplay, the focus on brutality returns with enhanced and exaggerated fatality finishers, as well as the lighthearted babalities. Each player has a special bar that can be used to enhance a special attack or break out of a combo. Introduced are X-ray moves, where when a player's special bar is full, they can execute a very damaging special move that shows the internal damage being dealt. Returning are minigames Test Your Might, Sight, Strike, and Luck. There is also a challenge tower with 300 missions to complete, several multiplayer options, and a crypt where currency can be spent to unlock additional moves, costumes, lore, or art. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with a recapitation. The game begins at the end of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where all of the realm's warriors lay dead and only the Emperor of Outworld, Shao Kahn, and Earthrealm's protector and God of Thunder, Raiden, remain. With newly gained power, Shao Kahn disregards the rules of Mortal Kombat and tosses aside Raiden, whose amulet falls off and shatters. Grasping its fragments, Raiden chants a spell to send a last-second message to himself in the past of "he must win" before being executed by Shao Kahn. As we see events rewind all the way back to the first Mortal Kombat and the original tournament, the Raiden of the past receives a cryptic message and notes his amulet ominously crack in his hand. As the tournament opening ceremony begins, Sorcerer Shang Tsung presides over the event held on his island, explaining that this tournament is especially important. Outworld currently stands at 9 consecutive tournament victories and is only 1 tournament victory away from being able to physically absorb Earthrealm into Outworld. He also mentions the final challenge will be himself, and to this, a self-confident action star named Johnny Cage makes a snide remark among the combatants while also hitting on Special Forces soldier Sonya Blade. Shang Tsung isn't amused, and calls on Johnny to be Earthrealm's first fighter, pitting him first against the Saurian Green Ninja, Reptile, and then a member of the Tarkatan race of mutants, Baraka. Winning both fights easily, Johnny is ordered to kill his foes by Shang Tsung, but he refuses to comply, forcing Shang Tsung to suspend the tournament for now. Afterwards, Raiden congratulates Johnny for his win, though his Shaolin monk ally Liu Kang stresses the grave danger their world is in. As Raiden elaborates, Johnny doesn't believe either of them or the supernatural danger they face, but Raiden still sees heroic potential in Johnny's heart. As he continues his pursuit of Sonya, she dismisses his flirting and his offers for help as she searches for her commanding officer, Jax. From behind, the mercenary Kano grabs and hurls Johnny off into the pit, and as Johnny now realizes the life or death situation he's in, he recovers, beats down Kano, and saves Sonya. She thanks him while revealing Kano is the leader of the black market cartel called the Black Dragon, and moves ahead to rescue Jax on her own. As she finds Jax locked away, she's interrupted by Shang Tsung, who imposes that the tournament continues now, and her opponent will be one of the Lin Kuei assassins, Sub-Zero. After she wins, she confronts Shang Tsung, who is delighted to be challenged, though Raiden appears between them, suddenly receiving a vision of Liu Kang defeating Shang Tsung and assuming it to be the correct course to follow. Creating a window, Raiden blinds the guards and Shang Tsung, allowing Sonya to free Jax and escape. As she calls in an evac, she sees the rescue chopper, but is blown out of the sky by Shang Tsung, and he chuckles and forces her into a fight with Kano. She beats him, but Shang Tsung does not allow her to arrest him, instead departing peacefully. Raiden, Johnny, and Liu Kang arrive to help out, and after Raiden heals up Jax, he then imparts to them all his vision of them all being involved in Earthrealm's doom. Though vague, he believes they must defeat Shao Kahn in order to avert a future where he becomes invincible and kills everyone, but unless he is directly challenged, he cannot participate in the tournament, and thus must rely on them all to defend Earthrealm. Agreeing to work together, they arrive at the tournament the next day, where Raiden again receives a vision after sensing a nearby guard is actually Shaolin monk and descendant of a former Mortal Kombat champion of the same name, Kung Lao. Shang Tsung calls forth Shirai Ryu Ninja and Revenant Scorpion from the Netherrealm, given undead life thanks to the sorcerer Quan Chi, and he directly calls out Sub-Zero, exclaiming how the assassin killed his family and clan and demands revenge. To the side, Raiden exposes Kung Lao, reminding him he shouldn't be here since the Shaolin chose Liu Kang to represent them, and hot-headedly Kung Lao claims he is equal in skill and steps forth to challenge Scorpion but loses his match. Raiden gets a vision of Scorpion killing Sub-Zero here, resulting in a greater threat, but as he helps Kung Lao away, Shang Tsung hears none of Scorpion's demands, instead pitting him against Nightwolf. Nightwolf chides Scorpion for his thirst for revenge, pointing out his people have also been victimized, and yet he has found peace by letting go of the past and finding a new purpose. Scorpion finds that option dishonorable to the memory of his people, defeating Nightwolf as well, and again demanding Sub-Zero. Quan Chi now steps out to calm Scorpion, and Shang Tsung assures him he will fight Sub-Zero soon enough, as there is an intermission in the tournament. Raiden approaches Scorpion, imploring him that he is fine to defeat Sub-Zero, but cannot kill him as a greater threat will emerge from it. In return, he will ask the Elder Gods to restore life to his clan, and after some thought, Scorpion agrees to the terms. As the location for the next match changes, Lin Kuei assassins Cyrax and Sector discuss how their order's Grandmaster has plans for the future of the clan, but Cyrax feels it violates their principles as it takes away their free will, offending Sector. As Scorpion enters the room, Cyrax mocks and challenges him, intent to end his pursuit of Sub-Zero, though the ninja is able to handle both assassins at once. Sub-Zero now steps out and spits on Scorpion's clan, angering him to where he grabs Sub-Zero and drags him to the Netherrealm for their duel. Avenging his people, Scorpion emerges victorious, but seeing this, Quan Chi steps in and reminds Scorpion of the slaughter Sub-Zero led on his clan, showing him an image of Sub-Zero personally executing his wife and child, though Sub-Zero denies the illusion, claiming it's false. However, in his rage, Scorpion tears off his mask, revealing his revenant skull beneath, and proceeds to kill Sub-Zero. He reappears briefly to ashamedly reveal his victory with Sub-Zero's remains, and distraught he quickly leaves. Raiden is dismayed to see despite his efforts, his vision has come to pass, especially since Sub-Zero once helped defend Earthrealm from Quan Chi and the fallen Elder God, Shinnok. Outraged, Cyrax vows revenge for Scorpion, but Raiden says the Lin Kuei have a habit of making bad decisions, like the Cyber Initiative. Cyrax objects and states he opposed turning their clan into inhuman robots, but Raiden points out Cyrax didn't oppose the Lin Kuei with being hired by Shang Tsung to participate in Mortal Kombat to fight against their own Earthrealm, which would spell the end for the Lin Kuei as well. Conflicted, he proceeds on his mission to assassinate Johnny Cage, but he's interrupted by Shiva, a member of the four-armed, half-human, half-dragon race called the Shokan. She explains Shang Tsung has ended their contract and has no more need for him, though he adeptly defends off her and Baraka immediately after. Confronting Shang Tsung, the sorcerer states Cyrax is untrustworthy since he was seen speaking with Raiden earlier, but Sector vouches for him. Unconvinced, Shang Tsung announces the next match is Cyrax against Johnny Cage, though when he wins and Shang Tsung urges him to kill Johnny, Cyrax considers his words with Raiden and refuses to kill him. Upset at his insubordination, Sector confronts Cyrax, who defends his judgment since Cage was taken out of the tournament and there was no need to kill him like a mindless machine. The two assassins duel, and winning, Cyrax announces his choice to leave the Lin Kuei as he walks away. Elsewhere, Shang Tsung now reveals to the combatants the newest creation of Shao Kahn, a legion of countless souls fused into one psychokinetic red ninja, Ermac. As the final stage of the tournament begins, it's down to the final Earthrealm warrior Liu Kang to face this new creation. Defeating this new opponent easily, Shao Kahn's champions get nervous, as Kitana states she won't allow Liu Kang to progress to the final challenge. Raiden tells Liu Kang his visions were sent from his future self, as he again hears the message he must win, and states he believes that this is in reference to Liu Kang. With his amulet from the Elder Gods as proof, if their judgment is correct then the cracks in it will repair, as Liu Kang responds with faith and trust in Raiden's judgment. After Raiden leaves, Kitana approaches him and immediately attacks, though he easily beats her and is amused by her failed attempt. She accepts death, explaining she is the daughter of Shao Kahn and she must pay for her failure, and he refuses, giving her a charming smile and pretending they never fought so she never failed. As the tournament proceeds that night, Shang Tsung announces Liu Kang will now face Scorpion accompanied by Quan Chi, and as he beats them, Raiden tells him the next hurdle will be Goro. Mentioning how long it's been since the reigning champion has had a challenger, Shang Tsung warps Liu Kang away to the room where the mighty prince of the Shokan, Goro, awaits. Edging out a win against the behemoth opponent, Liu Kang scores an unexpected victory, and as he returns to the throne room, the sorcerer understands there is one last fight as he is directly challenged to Mortal Kombat. As a Shaolin monk faces off against the shape-shifting sorcerer under Shao Kahn, Liu Kang delivers an unbelievable upset victory to win Mortal Kombat and save Earthrealm from the brink of conquest. As a portal opens up for Outworld, the defeated team leaves, though Kitana lingers for one last look at Liu Kang, who returns the glance. Raiden congratulates the new champion, though as he glances at his amulet, he is shocked and confused at seeing it crack more instead of repairing itself. Back in Outworld, Shang Tsung is berated by Shao Kahn for failing, who orders his execution, though stays his hand once Shang Tsung cries out there is a way to change the rules to where Mortal Kombat is no longer mandated. At the same time, the celebration ceremony for Liu Kang as champion begins in the Shaolin Temple, though crashing the party is Shang Tsung, curiously restored to his youth. He informs them of Shao Kahn's new suggestion of a single tournament instead of the current system of 10, to be held in Outworld, doubling down on winner takes all. Should Earthrealm lose, they will be absorbed, but if they win, then Shao Kahn will give up any claim on Earthrealm forever. Raiden dismisses the offer and obvious trap, and to force his hand, Shang Tsung opens a portal to release a horde of Tarkatans upon the monks. Major Jax does his best to fend them off, but is overwhelmed. As he comes to, the temple is in ruins, and Raiden explains it's clear Shao Kahn intends to harass them until they agree to his new tournament, while also mentioning Sonya Blade and the Shaolin Masters were kidnapped. He has another vision of Liu Kang winning the new tournament and killing Shao Kahn, but states that the last time they followed the vision, it worsened the future, so he must win must refer to another, and someone else should win the tournament. Announcing to the Elder Gods his acceptance of the new tournament, the Elder Gods recognize the agreement as Raiden wastes no time to take them all to Outworld. Arriving, Raiden sends Liu Kang and Kung Lao off to rescue the Shaolin Masters, and is surprised Sonya isn't a captive in the throne room even as Shao Kahn is here personally. As Jax steps forward to begin looking for Sonya, Shang Tsung takes this as volunteering to start the tournament. Pitting him against Baraka, Jax wins the bout, though when his next opponent is about to be named, Reptile steps in to announce an unexpected development, and with Shao Kahn's approval they suspend the tournament for now. As Raiden, Jax, and Johnny search, Jax expresses his irritation at the chatterbox Johnny, which alerts Jade to their position as she tries and fails to stop them. They continue their rescue efforts into the Deadpool where Sonya is being guarded by Shiva, who is beaten down long enough for them to rescue her, and detect two unusual high-tech signals. Sensing the need to investigate, they split up, with Johnny and Raiden looking into one signal, while Jax and Sonya take the other. Meanwhile, Smoke, the grey-garbed ace Lin Kuei ninja, has snuck into Outworld alongside Tundra, the younger brother of Sub-Zero, who henceforth assumes his older brother's codename in order to investigate his death, starting with Shang Tsung. They split up to investigate as well, though Kitana soon arrives on scene to drive them away. She fails, and soon after, Smoke spots Shang Tsung making an arms deal with Kano. Smoke calls out Shang Tsung while battling alongside Kano, who refuses to talk so easily. As Smoke defeats both Reptile and a form-changed Shang Tsung, he continues his pressing question, when suddenly he is punched by an invisible foe who reveals himself to be a cybernetic Sector, allowing Shang Tsung to escape. Shocked that Sector has fully embraced going full cyborg, he defeats him and refuses to go along, though he is surrounded and held firm by other Lin Kuei cyborgs. Raiden and Johnny arrive close by, and seeing this, Raiden sees the future of Smoke turning cyborg and refuses to allow that feature to come to pass, instead saving Smoke from capture. Meanwhile, the young cryomancer Sub-Zero is investigating on his own and is met by a cyborg Cyrax, who is here to ensure Sub-Zero is assimilated. He fends off the ambush shortly before Jax and Sonya arrive, shocked to see another Sub-Zero. He explains he means no harm and is the original Sub-Zero's little brother looking into his murder. They choose to inform that Scorpion is the one who killed him and he can be found in the current tournament. Ermac now shows up, intent to oust the intruders, but when Jax moves to knock him out, Ermac psychically grabs him and blows his arms off his body. After Sub-Zero beats him, he remains focused on pursuing Scorpion and points Sonya to a portal back to Earthrealm, though he doesn't help her with Jax. He continues to the Coliseum where the tournament is taking place and interrupts Kitana's bout as she has second thoughts about killing mercilessly like her father thanks to Liu Kang's mercy before. Sub-Zero walks up to Shao Kahn and demands a fight with Scorpion, and offended, Shang Tsung answers his rudeness with Reptile, though he is no match for Sub-Zero. Amused, Shao Kahn allows the Cryomancer's wish to be fulfilled, as Scorpion is summoned forth and he's unafraid to answer the challenge. The cycle of revenge continues anew between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, though this time it is Sub-Zero that wins. However, before he can finish his revenge, Sector, Cyrax, and the cybernetic Lin Kuei interrupt the match to capture Sub-Zero. As an apology for interrupting the match, the Lin Kuei offer their loyalty to Shao Kahn, and as Raiden looks on helplessly, he sees that the timeline again changes, as young Sub-Zero will be assimilated instead of Smoke. Shao Kahn agrees to the Lin Kuei's offer, but to the side scolds Kitana for allowing so many of the intruders that he sent her to deal with to still move unchecked. As he sends her away, Raiden senses the hesitation in her heart and moves after her with Johnny and Smoke. As he approaches her, he says he sees the conflict within her as Liu Kang does, and mentions how she is more like her deceased mother Sindel than her father. She mentions that she can find some answers for herself if she visits Shang Tsung's flesh pits, a place she is curiously forbidden to enter, and steps away. Considering this, she decides to believe Raiden, and makes her way to the flesh pits where she finds many grotesque experiments inside tanks, and is shocked to find one on a table that looks just like her, albeit with the eyes and jaw of a Tarkatan. As the monstrous clone named Melina wakes up, it refers to her as sister, though encroaches upon her. After knocking her out, Shang Tsung comes out and Kitana takes him out quickly to expose this experimentation to Shao Kahn. When charged with making a living clone of her, Shao Kahn instead congratulates the sorcerer, and to a shocked Kitana, he says he is her emperor who killed her Edenian father and took Sindel as his wife, though she convinced him to spare Kitana's life. She objects to the lies he fed her all her life, and he has her escorted to be locked up and executed later, proclaiming he now has a true daughter and heir thanks to Shang Tsung's magic. As Kitana is led away, her friend and servant Jade is not far behind, intent to rescue her, fighting past Baraka and Shiva to reach Kitana, though she urges her to find Raiden to break the magical bonds that trap her. As she moves on, Jade is intercepted by Mileena, shocked by her resemblance to Kitana, and fends her off just in time to be met by Raiden and crew. She quickly tells them Kitana has turned against Shao Kahn and is to be executed for it, and while Liu Kang insists on rescuing her, Raiden reminds him he cannot leave the tournament starting soon, so Kung Lao offers to rescue her in his stead. As Kung Lao makes a joke about Liu Kang's new girlfriend, a new specter named Noob Saibot appears before them, saying they knew someone would try to rescue her again. As he defeats the shadowy ninja, he notes something looks familiar about him, and soon Goro enters, enraged at seeing Liu Kang again, and this time Kung Lao is the one to topple the former champion. Upon defeat, Goro shares that Kitana has already been moved to the Colosseum where her execution is imminent. Hurrying there and spotting Kitana, Liu Kang moves to free her, but Raiden pauses him right as Johnny Cage loses to Ermac. He explains that Smoke and Johnny are eliminated from the tournament, and Jax and Sonya are no longer in Outworld for some reason, so Liu Kang must fight now. Liu Kang shoots back that he is not he who must win, and continues, and turning to Kung Lao, Raiden thinks to put faith in him this time around. As the Shaolin monk steps forward, Shao Kahn decrees he will face Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. Despite their dislike of each other, the two sorcerers are confident in their deadly alliance, and all the more surprised to have it demolished by a lone Kung Lao. However, the fight isn't over yet, and a new Shokan warrior, one of the Tigrar lineage opposed to the Draco lineage like Goro, named Kentaro, now steps out. Defeating this overwhelming beast despite his fight so far, Kung Lao emerges victorious. Celebrating the win for himself and Earthrealm, Kung Lao lowers his guard enough for Shao Kahn to quickly approach and snap his neck, killing him. Enraged, Raiden prepares to fight, but Liu Kang is the one to tackle the Emperor first. Striking fiercely to avenge his friend against the Conqueror of Worlds, Liu Kang knocks down an arrogant Shao Kahn. As the staggered Shao Kahn stands, Liu Kang pours his power, anger, and sorrow into one fist and punches a hole clean through Shao Kahn, killing him and ending a threat to Earthrealm. Finally victorious, the Elder Gods recognize Earthrealm's win, and as Kitana moves to Liu Kang's side, Shang Tsung moves to collect Shao Kahn's body. Raiden regrets the loss of Kung Lao to earn this win, and thinks the vision meant Liu Kang was to defeat Shao Kahn, not Shang Tsung in order to prevent Armageddon, yet is shocked to see his amulet crack further, meaning the future has not changed. Afterwards, the Outworld side wonders who is next in line after Shao Kahn, thinking it to be Mileena, but before long a wounded Shao Kahn staggers in yet alive. He explains Quan Chi was able to accelerate his healing no thanks to Shang Tsung, and Quan Chi also suggests another way they may yet seize Earthrealm despite losing this second tournament. He reminds Shao Kahn the only reason he cannot simply invade Earthrealm and must try through Mortal Kombat is because of a barrier Sindel made to protect it so it would not suffer the same fate as Edenia, and this was accomplished through her self-sacrifice. He reveals he has mastered the spells necessary to not only resurrect her but also make her loyal to Shao Kahn, thus nullifying the barrier and allowing normal invasion. Allowing this to take place, Quan Chi succeeds in his efforts, and the restored Sindel openly praises Shao Kahn and forsakes Kitana. With this, the invasion of Earthrealm begins immediately. Very soon, Outworld is able to easily overwhelm the conventional military of Earthrealm, as we now see two police officers on the front lines, Curtis Stryker and his partner Cabal, who are seen and quickly set upon by the reptile. He fends off the ninja and Mileena on the streets soon after, and Raiden intervenes to put Mileena down but quickly leaves to aid Johnny with fighting Motaro the Centaurian. They are soon met by Kentaro, who immolates Cabal with his fire breath. Somehow edging out a win to push the Shokan by himself, Stryker calls in a medic to deal with Cabal's severe burns, though Ermac tosses him away with his powers. Managing to win this duel as well, Stryker is hailed by Nightwolf, who says Raiden is gathering Earthrealm defenders, and he is worthy to be among them. Reluctantly willing to go along with it, Stryker first returns to Cabal, but finds his body mysteriously missing. We now see Kano saving Cabal in Outworld, who wakes up and recognizes the criminal. Kano shares that Shang Tsung's magic healed him as best it could, but the burns and respirator will be permanent. It's also revealed Cabal was formerly a member of Kano's Black Dragon group. Refusing to rejoin and resenting coming back from the dead, he instead attacks Kano and forces him to take him to the one in charge so he can leave. Kano takes him to Shao Kahn, who is also being visited by Mileena, who reports that Raiden has killed Motaro. Sindel offers to go to Earthrealm now, and promoting her to General of the Army now, Shao Kahn calls forth Shang Tsung and drains him of all his souls, killing him in order to restore Sindel with youth and power. Cabal feels he can take Shao Kahn, but as he moves forward, Noob and Melina intercept him. As he beats them down, he jumps through a portal Quan Chi open to Earth Realm, though on the opposite side is Sub-Zero, tragically made into an obedient cyborg, and Shiva. Raiden and Smoke arrive, and Smoke is horrified at what they turned his friend into. Raiden recognizes Cabal and informs him Stryker has joined their forces, and they would welcome him as well. Taking Sub-Zero back to their hideout, Jax, now with replacement cybernetic arms, overrides and reprograms Cyber Sub-Zero, restoring his mind and free will again. Waking up with his memories restored, Sub-Zero is ashamed of the deeds he did while enslaved, and vows to fight against Shao Kahn, merging the realms by force. Stryker suggests using this to their advantage and having Sub-Zero go back to Outworld undercover to learn more of Shao Kahn's plans. Things immediately go awry, as Sector immediately detects something wrong with Sub-Zero, and refusing to submit for reprogramming, the two cyborgs fight as Sub-Zero wins and downloads Sector's mission orders. Going himself, he sees Kano, Goro, and Kintaro are meant to deliver more prisoners to a particular graveyard for Quan Chi, and stopping this, he freezes all three and sets the prisoners free. Both Shao Kahn break out quickly, but their double teaming is still outmatched by Sub-Zero, who also knocks out Ermac, who attempts to halt their escape. He heads now to the graveyard where Noob and Quan Chi are preparing a ritual, and as he reports back to the group, Raiden sees this will lead to a catastrophic tornado of souls that will absorb all the souls on Earth when summoned and feed it to Shao Kahn, making him unimaginably stronger. With his expertise in handling souls himself, Nightwolf heads out to back up Sub-Zero. Not waiting, Sub-Zero steps out and calls the attention of Quan Chi and Noob Saibot, who steps forward and states Sub-Zero hasn't earned the name, and revealing he was the original one to wear those colors. Shocked, Kuai Liang can hardly believe it's his older brother Bi-Han before him, though Bi-Han states he has been perfected by Quan Chi and promptly severs all former ties, including family. Noob then states that while they share blood, they are not brothers, and swallowing sadness, Sub-Zero accepts that he will not regret defeating him himself. As the two brothers duel, it is the younger Sub-Zero that wins, though Noob has brought enough time for Quan Chi to finish his spell. As the Soulnado erupts out, Nightwolf arrives and calls Sub-Zero back since he cannot protect his own soul like he can. He immediately moves to take out Quan Chi, and upon defeating him, knocks Noob Saibot into the Soulnado. Noob's dark energy clashes with the souls within, instantly destroying the Soulnado and Noob along with it. He reports back to the Earthrealm defenders that everyone's souls are safe, but as Raiden sees their victory again leads to a ruined future, he despairs openly. He quickly decides to report Shao Kahn's invasion to the Elder Gods and takes Liu Kang with him, though soon after he leaves, the Lin Kuei surround the defenders. Nightwolf fends off both Cyrax and Sector himself, as everyone else defends the ambush easily enough. However, Sindel now arrives on scene, and with her mystical ultrasonic abilities, she is able to overpower everyone, challenging them all by herself. Unfortunately, everything crumbles as soon as Nightwolf and the group attack, as Sindel single-handedly and swiftly kills Cabal, Stryker, Sub-Zero, Jax, Smoke, and Jade, while severely injuring Johnny, Sonya, Nightwolf, and Kitana. She takes her time to slowly drain the life out of Kitana, whose pleading has no effect on the brainwashed Sindel. Nightwolf then limps in to halt Sindel, summoning the spirits to his aid as Sonya calls out for Raiden. Meanwhile, Raiden is arguing with the Elder Gods, who are aware of Shao Kahn's invasion, but will not intervene since he has not technically broken the rules of Mortal Kombat. An invasion of one realm into another is not the same as merging two realms, so he hasn't broken any rules. While its true Earthrealm is falling, as long as the realms remain balanced, they will not act despite Raiden's pleading. Further dropping into despair, Raiden and Liu Kang return to their hideout where they are horrified to see the sudden death and destruction. Unfortunately, they are too late to stop Nightwolf, who sacrifices himself and Sindel in a desperate move that succeeds at the ultimate cost. Liu Kang rushes to a dying Kitana's side, who wishes him well as she dies in his arms. Overcome with grief, Liu shoots back how they were abandoned to die, and their deaths were all meaningless now. As Raiden's amulet continues to crack, Liu Kang demands to know how he intends to make things right now, and Raiden says since they cannot turn to the Elder Gods, their only choice now is to ally with the necromancer Quan Chi and see if the Netherrealm will defend Earthrealm against Outworld. Liu Kang states that Raiden is now truly mad, as all listening to him and his delusional visions has accomplished is death and ruin for them all. He no longer has any more faith in Raiden, and instead turns to help a wounded Johnny Cage and Sonya. Now alone, Raiden ventures to the Netherrealm, fighting past the Gatekeeper Scorpion, and speaks to Quan Chi directly. The Necromancer already knows Earthrealm will fall in a matter of hours, but still allows Raiden to offer a proposal. Bitterly, Raiden offers the souls of fallen Earthrealm warriors, and this causes Quan Chi to burst out laughing, revealing their souls are already his, not to mention he was already in dealings with Shao Kahn. As he corners Raiden with his revenants, Raiden is forced to fend off Jax, Striker, Cabal, Kitana, Nightwolf, and Kung Lao. Despite his victory, Quan Chi says Earthrealm is on the verge of defeat regardless, and soon Shao Kahn will enter. Raiden says the Elder Gods will not allow a merger without Mortal Kombat lest he be punished, and suddenly he stops with a realization. If Shao Kahn continues his invasion, then he'll merge the realms and cross the line of the Elder Gods, and rather than resist like they have, he must win was referring to Shao Kahn this whole time. Returning to Liu Kang, he explains the way to save Earthrealm is to allow Shao Kahn to succeed in his invasion and merge the realms, because if they stop him here and now, it's only a temporary victory as Shao Kahn will return with Armageddon as per his visions. Liu Kang believes Raiden is now insane, and moves to stop Shao Kahn, who begins to enter their world. Raiden forbids him to go, and turning about, Liu Kang declares Raiden is now an enemy. He throws a fiery fist to knock Raiden away, but in defense, Raiden raises a shield of lightning. Liu Kang's attack backfires violently, suddenly electrocuting and immolating him, killing him instantly to Raiden's horror. Raiden rushes over, begging forgiveness for this accident, but Liu Kang spits back that everything was Raiden's fault and soon everyone will die. Meanwhile, Shao Kahn now steps foot on Earthrealm as Sonya and Johnny rush to engage. He easily knocks them both aside and approaches Raiden, who bows before him, declaring he will no longer resist. Shao Kahn scoffs, bringing up all the times Raiden foiled him in the past, and as payback knocks him away as well. As events now come full circle, Raiden has now arrived at the fated point of execution he found himself in before sending himself the vague message in the past. Preparing to finally kill Raiden, Shao Kahn pauses as the Elder Gods now intervene, delivering punishment to Shao Kahn by means of possessing and empowering Raiden with their own might. Through him, they state Shao Kahn has violated the rules of Mortal Kombat with this unsanctioned merger, and so their punishment will be dealt. However, as they blast him directly with their holy power, Shao Kahn chuckles at how feeble the attempt is, brushing it off easily. Forced to do things the old-fashioned way, Raiden the God of Thunder, with the power of the Elder Gods supporting him, duels and defeats the multi-realm conqueror Shao Kahn. Now weakened, the Elder Gods attack him again, and their dragons overwhelm and consume him, destroying him completely before they return to the heavens with their task complete. As the game ends, the skies clear as Earthrealm is finally saved, as verified by his amulet repairing itself and signaling the start of a better timeline. Johnny and Sonya help him up as they reflect how Pyrrhic their victory was with the loss of almost all of their allies. After they leave to bury their friends and begin rebuilding, Quan Chi now arrives to pick up the crushed helm of Shao Kahn. He then speaks to his lord, the fallen Elder God Shinnok, confirming their plan has worked. With both Outworld and Earthrealm severely weakened and Shao Kahn out of the picture, the stage is set for Shinnok's return and soon enough, Netherrealm to move in and take everything. Mortal Kombat has enjoyed the success of selling over 5.7 million copies worldwide.